Professor Dr. Bunjira Chirowe to be our chairperson. Okay, and let me provide you with some of the background. Okay, so Associate Professor Dr. Bunjira Chirowe is now a lecturer at the faculties of Arts, Siloam University, and she received her MA in linguistics from Michigan State University in the USA, and also for her PhD in linguistics from the Michigan State University in USA as well. And her research areas of interest cover syntax, semantic, pragmatic, second language acquisition, and English as a foreign language. Okay, and without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to our chairperson, Associate Professor Dr. Bunjira Chirowe. And it is nice to see you today.
So thank you, Mr. Nupong, for the introduction, and it's my pleasure to be here again this year. I was here last year, and it was a very nice. It was a good experience, and I'm so glad to be here again one more time this year. Nice to see you, everybody. So without further ado, let me introduce our first presenter. Our first presenter, well, actually,
there is a switch, yes.
Yeah, okay, all right. So let me introduce first the topic for the presentation is a study of EFL students' satisfaction towards a flipped classroom in Vietnam. Basis for basis for program development. And our presenters are Kun Vorapon Mahakeo and Kun Khang Nguyen, if I pronounce it correctly. All right, so if two of you are ready, then yes, let's get started.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Everyone, do you hear me well, right?
Yes, clearly.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
Our study is a little bit special. I want to talk a little bit about that because this is from a course that Khang University from Vietnam. We have a cooperation between Rangsis University and Khang University. And in my School of Foreign Languages, we have a course of problem solving skills. And at that time, Tony and I co-teach, co-taught the course for 189 learners, students at that time, the third year student. And because that the COVID-19, so we cannot see each other in person, we ran the class online with around 60 hours and 30 hours for each of us. And we try to kind of report what we have done rather than the real research from the beginning. This is kind of the backup step, the follow-up activities after a project that we have done together. And the design of our course is a little bit different from Lip Classroom, actually, because it's more, it has a lot of additional tools and functions, and it's very successful. It was successful at that time. And I do not try to talk more about the theories because everybody knows about that. So you can see from the internet over here, we can see traditional classroom, flipped classroom, and our classroom is a little bit different. I will show you at the end of the report. And we can see that we do have more than just the videos for students to watch before at home. We have questionnaire, we have preparation, we have discussion, we have different kinds of interactive websites and activities for students to be involved before, during, and after the course. So in this course, we have used many different kinds of tools and kind of energy to motivate students for the best or the most effective learning during the lesson that we have never seen before in our teaching experience for a long time. So we have conducted a lot of feedback and involvement so that students can have discussions directly even during the time of the lecturing. So we do it with the aid of the IT, ICT, and everything smoothly, because kind of I study a lot about this, and Tony did well with that part too. So we see that this report is the follow-up activities of our course. This is more than that, than normal course, a normal research. So how about the results? So that we try to kind of classify or try to group our findings into three main parts. And for the first main part, we can see that this is just a survey with some sections of the qualitative verbal feedback from the student. We cannot get the ideas from all of the learner, 99, just 50% of them. And of course, with English learner in Vietnam, more female than male, and most of them belong to the group age of 20 to 21. So especially that 50%, about 50% of them have a long time of exposure to English. So from the 5 to 10 years, so that they can speak English well and understand our lectures in 100% in English, for different accents in Thailand, from Thai teacher and from Vietnamese teacher. And at the end of the result, we rate the student differently. Tony gave his score, and I gave mine. But actually, kind of we have some share in the score, and we have 61.6% of students get more than 3. They get from 3 to 4. It's been the maximum score from B to A to B, B to A. Sorry. And from the result, we can see from the questionnaires that we have many research items. However, we select 3 most common, 3 most rated item over here. I can show you on the screen, and the least rated satisfaction. And we can see that the course in Lived Classroom was a useful learning experience. And when we adapted these items for the questionnaire, we do not expect that students have a high expectation. We do have the one sample test to make sure that the values are acceptable. But here on the screen, I just show you the mean with 4.001 and 3.95 and 2.94 on for the top 3 items that we have really high satisfaction. So we really give students good and diverse resources at the same time that they learn and practice with us for the course called problem-solving skill. And of course, after that, we select the list rated satisfaction. But the list does not mean that it's very low. It's around 3.49. It's also kind of average too, a little bit higher than average. And that indicates that my level of learning that occurred in this course were of the highest quality. So that is really good signals for both of us who try to organize the course in that way. And of course, when we look at the verbal feedbacks from students, we can see that students try to show that they become more active and be the better thinker at the end. So they say that they have enough things, and no matter what happens with the internet, with the pandemics, they learn new things. They are better. We enhance them. Education is good for them too. They don't complain that online education is boring like in normal courses. In this course, they work on the time. And so it's not a big problem anymore for sure. And they say that the creative course imports knowledge with fascinating activities. And And as I mentioned, there's a lot of things in the classroom, and they have great, amazing impression. So after a lot of interaction with the course, and they see, students see from their own perspective to our teaching and the course, that they really have more opportunities to express their perspective, their views and opinions. I think this is very important because Tony and I try to interact with students in many ways, by many ways at the same time. Directly during the teaching, before and after, on Zalo, lines, and many other ways, so that email too, so that they can listen to us, we can listen to them. We even have Google Drive and some other platform for them to send their YouTube video, their links and etc. They have picture, they have creativity with their designs and solution to the problem. That is what I remember so far, even almost half of a year. For the major discussion over here, I selected 2 names so that you can see that we have a lot of common and even differences, similarity and differences with our research. That we have even more tools and more options, so that students can choose from and practice with us. We do not give lecture a little bit boring like normally. We try to kind of interact on the theme with the test, small test, mini test, lucky test, sometimes with the platform that student can post idea, that we can collect the ideas of all students at the same time. Not just some, like in the traditional classroom, that we can just call some ideas from the student. It's important over here because students tend to be more passive if they are not active in the classroom for a long time. And in this course, Tony and I created really good environment and motivation for students to contribute their knowledge and opinions to the course. And with a varieties of activities that we can see from us in the course, the lived classroom already kind of upgraded into the new version. We have different steps. We don't follow just the videos and discussion and feedback. We mix them. And as a conclusion, we see that we can see from students from both sources of qualitative and quantitative data, is that we have the useful, student mentioned the usefulness of language learner experience in the learning process. In their learning process, they learn something. And the diversities of effectiveness, effective resourceful topics. Both of us trying to moderate and design very interesting and useful topics for them. And then the benefits of having more discussion in the flipped platform than just at the end. We have even at before, during, and after. And then we have the new design of the lived classroom, as we call that the dynamic lived classroom now, for international cooperation between universities in the area. Of course, now just Thailand and Vietnam. And this is the new model that we try to develop over here. So you can see that before, during, and after class, we have connection, that it's kind of the cycle, we do it. But the key, the central of this dynamic model is that we have feedbacks and portfolios. Students keep everything, we keep everything. We give feedback, they see feedback, they learn from each other, and all of that we can see of it. And of course, I have more time because I almost done of the presentation. Thank you very much for your valuable time and for the recommendation. With if you have some some interesting in this topic, we can discuss more, and then we can have some more experimental study with that. And these are the references, and this is my book about top useful activities for language teaching, if you have an ideas of using it. Thank you very much.
Mhm. Okay, wow, that's quite impressive. So thank you very much, Mr. Khang Nguyen.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite impressive. I would definitely check out the book here on the screen. Interesting. So definitely your Vietnamese EFL learners gain a lot of knowledge and great learning experience from your project, I believe. So before I say anything, let me just invite or see if anybody have questions or suggestion for his project. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I
sure.
have one question. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
okay, so it might be a blunt question, but sound to me the flipped classroom is very suitable for language teachings and learning. But okay, in my opinion, the flipped classroom is very suitable for the communication-based classroom, right? But what about the lecture-based classroom? Can we apply or can we implement the flipped classroom in that kinds of class, for example?
For sure. Thank you for your question. I'm sure that we can apply I'm sorry. Yeah, we can apply for sure because over here with this new dynamic model, you can see that we have the core, the center of the model is the feedback and if follows. It's not just the orders of the information as we do in a normal teaching presentation or teacher teaching. So when you want to have more interaction with students, with this one, we focus more on interaction. So when students have interaction, you can do whatever. When you give lecture, you can have interaction immediately with some live interactive audience, with the audience immediately with your laptop and everything, with cell phones. So even without the cell phone, I can do it too, with the papers, with the color. So I'm sure with you, we can do it and we can develop or bring it into the new level of application.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you. Anybody, any more questions, please?
I have one question, please.
Sure.
Yes, please.
Okay, it's kind of for the flipped classroom, it encourage students to be more independent student because they have to do many different things before class, both like watching before classroom, come to participate, join with their friend, right? So I just wondering whether it's gonna be suitable for a little bit upper intermediate level of student, not the beginner, not the lower student, because they have to do many things and prepare themselves a lot, right? What would you say about this?
Okay, for that case, I agree with you that the student need to be more independent a little bit. However, for different level, it depends on the level of difficulties of the task you give them. So for the low level, you can give them to do something easier. For example, Tony and I can ask them to, okay, you just take a picture around you and try to record or take a video of that picture and say some words that you can see from that. So for low level student, they can still do something lower at their level. So it depends on what you want student to do. Is it not how we do it? Because for how we do it, we can solve any problem. And of course, for independent students, some students are not independent yet, so we try to a little bit push them. We have communication with them. Okay, everybody, please spend 5 minutes to do something. We are waiting for you, etc. Tony and I usually try to do something like that. Okay, everyone, we have group work activity now, blah, blah, blah. We try to do it in many ways, in many tools at the same time. We have Zalo lines to communicate during that time too. Because sometimes students do not look at the screen. They don't hear us. So we have other ways for them to be alert of the thing that they should do with that. And even before the class, we send them emails, we send them very clear information, very clear guide so that they can follow. And we have them to work in group or pair so that they can help each other at the same time. Okay.
I see. Yep. I think I'm gonna try your approach of teaching as well to my students because they seems to be quite passive in my class though.
Yeah.
All right. So So I think you have already mentioned all the soft skills of the 21st century in your classroom. It's just that if you can emphasize a bit more, I think it would be perfect. Like in your classroom, the student not only can skill development of English language using, but also things like collaboration when they do group activity together, or critical thinking, like sometimes you have them read something and to express their opinion, right? So yeah, I think if you just mention this kind of terms, then yeah, it would be perfect for this pandemic era.
Yeah, actually that is the goal of our course. We try to student problem solving skills. We need them to cooperate, to be creative, to be able to solve problems, to know the knowledge, to use English at the same time. And so everything in the same course, in one course only.
Yeah, all right. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely try using this kind of method in my class as well. All right, so thank you very much from
Thank you very much.
Mr. Dan Nguyen.